All right, so that was one hell of a game. Buffalo stunning Baltimore with a 15-point comeback in the last 4 minutes of that game. Josh Allen was an absolute man possessed in that football game. Derrick Henry, honestly, for 3 quarters of the game, 80% of the game, maybe even up to that crucial fumble in the fourth quarter, was probably the player of the game. And then Josh Allen obviously went ballistic. But Allen's just reading defenses, playing backyard freaking football. It doesn't even matter what coverage you're throwing at him. So long as the play breaks down just a little bit, this man can make some magic happen. It is absolutely a treat to watch. Only problem I have just with how good this game was is that these two teams are beating up on each other this early in the year, and Kansas City's probably sitting back and looking at this and being like, Buffalo and Baltimore are beating up on each other, and although we lost to the Chargers, we can probably go 2-2 this month, and then probably get through November being 9-3, 8-4, and then just go on an absolute tear. So Buffalo and Baltimore kind of got to bring it back a little bit. In other notes, though, so Bo Nix struggled, but Cam Ward struggled a little bit more. Leading receiver was Tony Pollard, finished with 29 receiving yards, 2 fumbles, and 6 sacks for what I think is the best defense at football. Turnovers lost the game for Seattle. There were incredibly just not smart turnovers at all. Tongus off the practice squad catches the game winner. That was a great catch. Just absolute battle for the football. I wish Purdy played a little bit better. Wasn't great. Packers Lions. 46 rushing yards, the best running back duo in the league. That was very disappointing. That whole game was disappointing. Jordan Love looked solid, and it seems like just Detroit's offense as a whole is kind of the identity of the offense is gone with Ben Johnson. And I said this last year after Jared Goff lost that playoff game. It seems as if this team's ceiling is the NFC Championship game against the 49ers. Like, Jared Goff's just not that big game quarterback that he needs to be to win a Super Bowl. I think I seriously, it may be an overreaction now, but I think Detroit seriously got to consider a transition at the quarterback position. As for Houston, LA, it was very not entertaining game. I watched briefly through the first half, and I just did not tune in really at all during the second half. LA was just generating pressure way too easily on them. We knew that offensive line for Houston was going in was going to be a problem. It's just going to keep getting worse. Early games, though, Jaden Daniels took care of little brother with big help from JCM. Giants' defensive line showed some flashes. So, we'll see. I think the Giants' D line will win up some games. We'll see. Jets Steelers. An insane game. Two guys going up against their former teams. Absolute surprise of the week in terms of implied total. The implied total is like 38.5 on this game. Absolutely insane. And A-Rod throws 4 touchdown passes in a win. I believe it was 35-32 at the end of it. I'm still baffled by how well both teams looked. I mean, the defense for the Steelers was very disappointing as a person who played the Steelers defense in multiple fantasy leagues this week. Really hoping, just banking on the implied total. Still not impressed with Kyler Murray in that Arizona-New Orleans game. Another very boring game. James Conner, Trey Benson showed up. Marvin Harrison Jr. showed up. Like Arizona did their job, but they should have blown the Saints out of the water. And they escaped by the skin of their teeth. I was not impressed at all. As for the New England Vegas game, another instance where the result should have been much different. I think New England should have won this football game. Ramondre Stevenson needs to not be the number one option in short yardage situation. That needs to go to TreVeyon Henderson. TreVeyon Henderson needs to be the 3-down back. Period. End of discussion. Stevenson is slowly showing Vrabel and the rest of the coaching staff and management why he should not be the guy really in any situation. He's not as good as Henderson in pass pro. He's not as good as Henderson catching the ball. He's not as good in short yardage as Henderson. He's not faster than Henderson. He's not more agile than Henderson. So that creates a question of why is he still the number one guy on 3rd and short? You can maybe break a tackle or two more than Henderson, but that's at the cost of everything else. Liked what I saw from the pass rush from New England, but needs a little bit more. Carolina came out completely flat, though, against Jacksonville. They hit on their first pick this past year. That's the good news. The bad news, they didn't hit on their first pick 3 years ago now, in 23. Jacksonville got 1 sack all game. That should be enough to tell you about Bryce Young at this point. Dolphins against the Colts played like the worst team in football. I don't know if Danny Dimes can keep this rolling, but Tyler Warren looked freaking awesome. And Shane Steichen, I was not familiar with your game. Well, the Colts are kind of one of those teams where we're just going to monitor it. And we're going to see how they look. Not a good day for Giants fans. Check on a Giants fan. Dylan Sampson was the only offense in the Cincinnati-Cleveland game. That was another very disappointing game. Again, Cincinnati should have blown them out of the water. Didn't. Jerome Ford should have been the leading rusher in that game. Is a little bit of a petty Jerome Ford enthusiast. He wasn't. Dylan Sampson showed up, though. Happy to see that. Myles Garrett doing DPOY things. And then with every Tampa Bay Atlanta game, always seems to either come down to the wire or be an absolute shootout. And I love that about Tampa Bay Atlanta games. Baker Mayfield thrown for 3 touchdowns. The rookie Egbuka coming in clutch for me in fantasy as well with 2 touchdowns. Penix and Bijan both had good games. And then Koo blows the game. So that brings me into Monday Night Football preview. And the thing I love about this matchup is the chess match that Flores and Ben Johnson are going to kind of engorge themselves in. So Bears are at home. This is a Soldier Field. It's going to be kind of cold. As a Chicagoan, it's going to be kind of cold. Bears plus 1.5 looks enticing. 43.5 is the implied total. If I were to pick this game kind of on traits alone, I would pick Minnesota to win and probably cover. I think it's going to be a much lower scoring game just on the win factor alone, the weather factor. So, yeah, give me the Vikings to cover. I think J.J. McCarthy gets his first win in his hometown against his favorite team. But we'll see. I am very excited for this matchup. I, again, believe it will be a low-scoring matchup. I think Minnesota is going to start asserting their dominance over the NFC North. But and this isn't me saying, oh, Caleb Johnson's going to have a bad game. Brian Flores is going to put him in a blender. But I think this is going to be fun to watch for sure.